Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Adam Nixon and this is the Random Meal. Today is the big one that I've kind of been waiting to record. It is talking about who's going to headline and who's going to be at Reading and Leeds 2022. So if you may or may not have seen, Reading and Leeds have finally said when they're going to be dropping their first round of names for Reading and Leeds 2022, and it's going to be early December according to their tweet. This ironically came out on the very first time Arctic Monkeys released some tour dates since about 3 years. So a lot of people, including myself, are kind of just banking on Arctic Monkeys finally returning to Reading and Leeds for the first time since 2014. So if it's looking like Arctic Monkeys is going to be the big headliner of the sort of festival this year, and it's the one that's going to be most anticipated, the day that's going to sell out first of all and probably going to make the whole festival sell out, then let's talk about who else could be there, because it's looking like Arctic Monkeys are pretty much nailed on. So what I'm going to be doing is running through a few names that are probably likely and least likely to headline, but I'm going to run through a load of potential headliners, and then I'm going to be talking about what acts, including headliners, including not headliners, who I actually think is going to be there, and going off some predictions that have been online. So the headliners that they could be is, if we're going to be talking about the legacy act and the really big acts, I mean, it's looking like it's Arctic Monkeys, but some other names that could also be there, maybe only one of them could also be there, is Metallica, but they probably would have been there instead of Arctic Monkeys, so I'm going to pretty much rule them out, but you never know. Red Hot Chili Peppers, they definitely would have been there instead of Arctic Monkeys. They're on tour in America around the dates of Reading and Leeds, so it's quite unlikely they'll be there. But Rage Against the Machine is another name that's being really heavily talked about, and whether they could pull off both of them, then it's a very expensive couple of bookings, but you never know. So Rage Against the Machine is another name that I think could be there. Moving on to the rap act, I think there's one name that everyone is expecting, and that is Dave. He headlined Parklife as a UK exclusive last year, and I think we're going to be looking at very similar headline booking for Reading and Leeds this year. Makes a lot of sense after Stormzy last year, so I think Dave's going to be your headliner that headlines. No, your rap headliner that headlines. So yeah, whether he'll be the one that closes the stages, or whether it'll be the one before that, which closes the main stage west, I think it is, I'm not sure. Other names that are going around could be Kendrick Lamar, but I doubt it. Tyler the Creator is another big one, so keep your eye out for Tyler the Creator. Skepta is another name. I don't think he'd headline, but I think Skepta's going to be there as a sub-headliner. And I would have said Travis Scott with this new album coming out, but all this controversy around Astroworld, I don't think he's going to be getting booked on any festivals for a long time, so let's rule him out. Some other names that are being mooted, obviously, I uploaded a video a little while ago about Kasabian being there. They said see you next summer at Leeds gig. Looking a little bit less likely now since releasing that video, but Kasabian are another name to definitely look out for in regards to other acts. Bring Me the Horizon will most likely be there. That makes a lot of sense, Reading and Leeds bookings, and one I think a lot of people are going to be happy about. I don't think they've been there since their Secret set in 2018. So definitely look out for Bring Me the Horizon. Tame Impala is another one. Been a while, if ever, that he's headlined a UK festival, so that'd be a big booking. 21 Pilots have now ruled out they're doing a North America tour in 2022. The Strokes, Muse, Royal Blood, all acts that could be there, but I highly doubt it. I've actually seen Kings of Leon being thrown about, so look out for Kings of Leon, especially with them headlining Boardmasters this year, but I can't see that happening. If we're talking about some pop acts, yes, Dua Lipa, yes, Lewis Capaldi. I'd say they're the only two that could headline. Some people are talking about Youngblood headlining this year, if they're going to save some budget, if they're going to get someone like Rage, if they're going to get someone like Arctic Monkeys. So yeah, look out for someone like that, of that calibre, especially someone that is like Dua Lipa and that would fill their female slot, because this year they're definitely going to have to do a female slot after all of the controversy last year of not having barely any female slots. Other female artists that could be at Reading and Leeds Festival is Doja Cat. I think she's more likely to sub-headline personally. Haim or Miley Cyrus could definitely take the headliner slot. Quite a wild card. If they can't get Dua Lipa, then I do think we'll see a very big wild card in that sector. I think all of a sudden it'll be someone kind of out of nowhere, a bit like Haim or Miley Cyrus. Florence the Machine as well could come back from the dead and come back to Reading and Leeds Festival, they'd be very welcome. Wolf Alice were obviously there last year and did a fantastic set. They could come back and headline. I'm surprised they weren't last year. And Paramore, again, another artist coming out of the dead that could headline Reading and Leeds Festival. So you've got a very big variety there. I'm going to run through now my 6 and the 6 that I'm going to stick with now until the end. I don't think it's going to be spot on, but I think I'm going to get at least 4 correct. So let's talk about it. Okay, so personally, my 6 headliners are going to be Arctic Monkeys, Rage Against the Machine, Dave, Kasabian, Bring Me the Horizon, and Dua Lipa. I think that will cover all grounds of what they're planning to do this year. There might be a couple of too many rock heavy names. I think I really will be amazed if they get Arctic Monkeys and Rage Against the Machine, but you never know. I think Kasabian makes a lot of sense because it's cheaper. I don't think Dave's the most expensive booking in the world. I don't think Dua Lipa's the most expensive booking in the world. I think your main 3 of the budget is going to be on Arctic Monkeys, Bring Me the Horizon, and Rage Against the Machine. So that is my 6. Whether it's correct or not, we'll have to see. But that is my final prediction. I've taken out Royal Blood. They were always on my prediction. I've taken out Florence Against the Machine. They were on my very first prediction. So yeah, I think, did I say Florence Against the Machine? Florence and the Machine. I might have said that earlier as well. So yeah, that's going to be my 6. I don't know how they'll do the splits. I think we could see something like Rage and Dave, Bring Me and Dua, and then Kasabian and Arctic. But that's my 6. You might think I'm way off, but I do think that could be it. I'm now going to be running through some other acts that I think are pretty much nailed on to be on this year, and ones that make a lot of sense. There's been a prediction recently, and also on something on Reddit about someone saying that they have some inside info. So I'm going to be running through those because I think both of them are very spot on. And yeah, so let's talk about sub-headliners and other acts. Okay, so other acts that are tipped to play at Reading and Leeds. This is off of Reddit. That is apparently, they've been told. I mean, the top comment is source, trust me, bro. But let's see. I think it's quite spot on because it's Glass Animals. I think they're most likely to be there. Lewis Capaldi, I mentioned earlier, I think they'll be there. He'll be there. Sam Fender, I definitely think he'll be there after that amazing set last year in this upcoming tour for 17 Going Under. Kasabian as well. They've just been announced for a couple of headliners. I've obviously mentioned Kasabian already. They could be a sub-headliner, so watch out for that one, meaning we could get another big act. Bastille, I think they're about to go on their Give Me the Future tour, so I think they'll definitely be there. They're a Leeds favourite. Rex Orange County was meant to be there in 2020, the year it was cancelled. Same with Heady One. I think Heady One will be there. Skepta makes a lot of sense. DMAs make a huge amount of sense. They probably would have wanted to play more UK festivals last year, but couldn't because they're an Australian band. Cortinas as well make a lot of sense. So that is what acts have been told, and I think most of those are pretty spot on. If we're going to go back to a prediction poster that I'll put on screen now, I think a lot of these will make sense. So Doja Cat as a sub-headliner with Jake Bugg. Both of those pretty much nailed on in my opinion. Pology and Churches, interesting. I'll just leave it at that. Olivia Rodrigo and the Vaccines. I think that's almost spot on. I think Olivia Rodrigo's blown up so much, and it would be a similar booking to the likes of Kid Laroi, Billie Eilish, and Post Malone in 2018. So Olivia Rodrigo makes a lot of sense. Same with Doja Cat. That's a similar sort of booking. Quite popular online. That's why they're kind of getting booked. Cortina's Heady One, spot on. Machine Gun Kelly Architect, spot on after Alt London. That was meant to take place, or it did take place, but Machine Gun Kelly wasn't there, but Architect was. Migos, Don Broco. Don Broco, yes, they had their secret set last year, so normally they bring back the secret sets for the year after, so that's why Jake Bugg's on there. And Frank Carter and the Snakes isn't on there, but I would assume Frank Carter will come in for the exact same reason, for doing a secret set. Other names on this poster include Charlie XCX. Obviously, she was meant to be there. I mean, this Charlie XCX is 4 names down, and she was meant to sub-headline last year, so maybe they won't get her again, but you never know. Fredo, Pale Wave, Central C all makes sense. Madison Beer makes sense. Willow, Sandara Karma both make sense. Willow's obviously getting her name out there, obviously related to Jaden Smith, Will Smith. Mahalia makes a lot of sense. She was meant to be there in 2020 when it was cancelled. Phoebe Bridgers, an upcoming artist, definitely could happen. Fever 333, always there. Nova Twins, always there. Fontaine's DC wasn't there last year, makes a lot of sense. Denzel Curry was meant to be there, cancelled. So I do think a lot of those names mooted are very, very likely, and I think we could be definitely seeing something very similar to that, especially with these two main stages, and I think it's going to be a very good year for Reading and Leeds Festival. So far, all of those names mentioned are definitely the ones that I've thought previously, and definitely names that I can see being at Reading and Leeds 2022. I think names like DMAs would be very welcome, Sam Fender, all those sort of names that are kind of very, very big favourites around but weren't there last year, or in Sam Fender's case he was, but can't see him not getting him for another year. So yeah, that's my prediction. My final prediction is going to be Rage Against the Machine, Dave, Bring Me the Horizon, Dua Lipa, Arctic Monkeys and Kasabian. What do you guys think? Do you think I'm way off? I mean, I'm not one to normally predict 4 like sort of rock heavy bands, but I can just see it this year. I could be completely wrong. They could get a DJ in, don't know who they get. They could get another rap act in. Another act that is potential is a big US artist, someone like Lil Nas X, someone like, I mean, it would have been Travis Scott, I think. I think Travis Scott was almost nailed on until all this stuff happened. So potentially not, but yeah. Let me know what you think. Let me know who could be the big American artist for this year, because they normally like to get one, so we'll have to see. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and you'll see this face back when they drop those names in a couple of weeks' time. I'm really looking forward to it. Also, the podcast's going to be ramping up. I've got a bit of an announcement coming up to do with that, so make sure you're following us on our socials, because the first episode of the new podcast is going to be a big one. We're going to have video, and we're also going to have a special guest, so look out for that. And yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. My name is, of course, been Adam Nixon. This is The Random Mill. It's good to be back, and I hope you guys did enjoy it. See you later.